Hello everyone, happy Sunday. I hope you're having a beautiful day when you tune into this. If it isn't Sunday, maybe you see it on a different day. But anyway, my name is Colleen Gallagher if you haven't been introduced to me. Super grateful to be co-creating this space with you. When you join, say hello. And when you join in the replay, hashtag replay. And I feel like I've been adding extra questions. So this one, I'd love for you to let me know if you could travel anywhere in the world. Where would you travel? That's what I'd love for you to tell me. And so when you join on the replay, let me know, because this is such a platform for connectivity. And I want to make sure that when you are connecting or when you're here, when you're present, that I make a conscious time and effort to say hello, to really get to know you, because this is what this platform is truly, truly for. And so I'm doing a 31-day live series for those of you who don't know yet, and that's 31 days in October of 2020. The reason that I'm doing this is I have my third book, An Uncompromised Life, that is launching. We are in the pre-order. In the next 2 weeks, we should have a date of when things will be shipping. So that's really exciting for those of you who've gone on this journey, and those of you who have pre-ordered. We're going to have the ship date very, very soon. But in this book, I wrote it in about 4 or 5 months. It was my quickest book I've wrote and my longest book I've written. And it's all about how I compromised my character for love, to pretend I didn't have desires and needs. And through that experience, I wound up with an unplanned pregnancy, where I chose to let the child go because I was in a relationship with a narcissist where I was a spiritual codependent. And it would not have just been a healthy relationship for a child to be entered into. And so I didn't know that I could become pregnant because I had cancer at age 14. And from that, doctors told me it'd be very challenging. And so when this happened, I knew, well, when I was diagnosed with cancer, I always had a knowing in my heart that I was going to adopt a child. Like, I tell my parents this, I tell my friends in college this, like, everyone always knew I was meant to adopt. I always wanted to adopt just one child. Even guys I would date, I'd be like, I just want to adopt one. So I didn't know it at the time, but this was my story of who I am meant to adopt and the soul of the child that I'm meant to adopt. And the name Ella came to me through 3 different means. So I'll be adopting my daughter in the world, which is a super beautiful place. However, to pre-launch the book, I wanted to share with you guys 31 ways that I've broken my own heart and 31 ways that I turned it into a love story. I think the topic that I'm talking about, or that I know I'm talking about, child loss, and also the loss of a relationship that you really did care about someone, but it just wasn't healthy for you. It's 2 things we all struggle with. It's 2 things that challenge us all. It's things that we all have suffered from. And for me, it took a lot to move through the pain so quickly. Like, I had a lot of therapy. I did EMDR, neurofeedback therapy. There was a lot that I did to invest in myself, to put myself around new environments, new technology, new people, so I could really get over child loss. And it's not something that's, I shouldn't say get over, it's something that I could integrate and I could accept and I could acknowledge and I could honor and I could carry with me instead of disassociating from it and living just in the pain. And so what I want to talk about in this live specifically is the power of saying no. So a lot of us break our own hearts, and I've talked about this a little bit, but we break our own heart because we're constantly yes people. We're constantly saying yes, we're people pleasing, we're doing things, we're showing up to events, we're like all these things. We keep saying yes to do things, to be a certain person that other people want us to be, over who it is we actually know we're meant to be, over who it is we actually know we desire to become. And so in this process of us constantly saying yes to other people, about a friend may call us and say, let's do brunch, or a friend may call and say, let's go here. A friend may call and say, I have something I want to talk to you about. And you're constantly just saying yes and yes and yes and yes and yes and yes and yes to all these people and all these situations and all these things where you aren't honoring that you have the opportunity to say no. You aren't honoring the opportunity that you have to a human right to say, no, I don't want to do this. No, this isn't good for me. No, I'm honoring myself and not doing that. And a lot of times, many of us, we get so caught up in just saying yes to please others, or saying yes that we'll take a job, saying yes that we'll take a promotion, saying yes that we'll take on more work without getting paid. Like, we're so easy easily to say yes. And every time we say yes, but our insides, our body is like, no, that is not what's meant to happen. No, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to show up to that event. I don't want to be around these people. I don't want to be in this relationship. I don't want to answer that phone. Whatever it is that we're doing, and we're constantly saying yes when our body is no, it creates chaos and a chemical reaction in our body. This chemical reaction can lead to many things of discomfort, physical pain, emotional pain, sadness, anxiety. It could lead to something like cancer. It could lead to something like getting COVID. It could lead to a lot of different things, but these chemical reactions that fire off in our nervous system and in our body when we force ourselves to do something we know we're not meant to be doing, we break our own heart. It could end up in a heart attack. Over time, if you say yes to enough things when you really desire to say no, if you say yes to being in a relationship, you know, when someone's maybe cheating on you, or you're saying yes to being in a job where you know that it's being unethical, but you're doing it because you're taking the money. If you say yes enough times when you know in your body that you cannot do it, it is not healthy for you, it is not what's right for you, there could be something like a heart attack. There will be a catastrophic event that God will send you. Before the catastrophic event, God is giving you messages and signals in your body and in your mind, like anxiety, massive anxiety attacks, panic attacks, to let you know this is not the right path for you. And the more that you ignore those signals, the more that you ignore those, they compound over time into something massive happening, like an unplanned pregnancy or like a car accident or a cancer, whatever that it is. But it's really understanding that when we say no, and we say it from a whole and healed place, like, no, I do not want to be doing this. No, I'm not going to brunch. No, I cannot speak to you right now because I need to work. No, I need to read. I need to go on a walk. I need to exercise. When we start to say no to others so we can say yes to ourselves, that is when we start to turn our life into a love story. So for an example for this, I used to be someone who all the time, like, people would call me and they'd want to hang out, and I was like, yes, you can hang out. And like, sometimes I would really need to work. I'd be like, I need to work, or I need to do something for my master's or my PhD or my business. And people would just want to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And I couldn't like physically do it, but I didn't know how to say no. Well, over time, right, I love brunch too. See, but the thing would be, let's say with brunch would be, if it's someone, let's say, that's calling you, and you know that, I can go into this, someone that's calling you and they always have a problem, or it's always drama, and you do love brunch, but sometimes it would be better for you just to take yourself to brunch than go to brunch with that person. That's the part of where I'm talking about breaking your heart. And when we do this enough times in our life where, as I was just saying, like, people would call me and I would have stuff I needed to do, stuff I would need to work on, and I wasn't working on it because I was talking to this person or solving their problem because I didn't know how to say no to them so I could say yes to me, then we're constantly in this process of breaking our heart. And it's never perfect, right? There's always different layers to this. As we grow in our leadership, as we grow in our evolution as a human, as we grow in time, there's always new things that God's going to send to us because we're always learning. We're always going through things. Like, we're always meant to have our heart break so that we can expand into a new being that we didn't know was possible before. And so it's in this process of what I'm sharing of, yes, QC, it's saying in this process of understanding, like, saying yes to you first before others. And it's okay to say no to someone else for you to live a yes. Because for you to, this is a chapter in my book, An Uncompromised Life, I think it's chapter 5, for you to really live a hell yes life, a heck yes life, like a life that's like orgasmic, a life that's exciting, a life that's like, holy shit, this is my life. I get to wake up to this. I have amazing friends calling me. I have amazing opportunities. I have amazing clients. Like, for this to be your life, you've got to be okay with saying no to people, things, and opportunities that will drain you, that are not really meant for you. And that's only something you will know in your body. And as you grow in wisdom, as you grow in impact, it will change. So an example, like, before, to me, when I was traveling the world in 2018 and 2019, and I loved staying at Airbnbs, or like that I would have a private room, or like a hotel that would have, like, you know, like our Airbnbs, even bed and breakfasts. I mean, I would love doing that because I was traveling the world by myself. So it was like a great way for me to meet people. It was a great way for me to make sure I liked the host. I always got like insider information. Now in my life, I would not do that because I have to be more focused. I'm not traveling the world for the same reasons. So I'm still saying yes to myself, but I'm saying no to different opportunities, no to different things coming to my way. I could still very well stay in an Airbnb as a private room, maybe not with COVID, but I could do that and it would be fine, but I wouldn't really be saying yes to my soul. Like yes to my soul, and I was like, I want to stay in a nice boutique hotel. I want to stay like looking at a water, looking at a pool. That's what I really deeply desire. Could that change again and transition in my life? Absolutely. But the most important thing is I'm saying no to things that don't feel good and yes to things that do. And so anyway, I hope on day 18, this serves you. When you join this and you see it, and if you can share this live, please. So you share it on your story, or you share it on Facebook or on YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever, tag me so we know that you've done it. And my team will enter in for you to win a drawing on October 31st. There's 3 people who will win. One, you'll win a copy of my first book, Live Your Truth. So this is my first one, Live Your Truth. You'll win my 3rd book, An Uncompromised Life, my Oracle deck, my Magical Creature Oracle deck. You'll get, the first person gets 2 one-on-one calls with me, and the second and third person gets 1 one-on-one call with me. So if you can just share this, I'd be super grateful. And then the other thing besides that is when you see this, hear this, and receiving this, and you want to go deeper in it, you want to understand how it relates to your life, definitely pre-order my book, An Uncompromised Life. This is a whole chapter that I go into. And then thirdly, for the month of October, I have a really special deal to work one-on-one with me. One-on-one working with me is usually like north of $2,500. It's way, way less this month. So just message me. You get 4 calls that are one-on-one with me through the end of the year. We make it work on both of our schedules. So if you're someone who's wanting to really understand what is your purpose, why is it you're here, you want to stop struggling, you want to stop feeling pain, you want to stop feeling like your heart is constantly breaking, you want to stop feeling anxious, message me so we can get you the details, so we can work one-on-one together. And then finally, I want you to know when you're watching this that you are so close to your heartbreak being done. You are so close to the pain of life passing through you. You are so close to absolutely falling in love with this magnificent world. And you are absolutely deserving and worthy to live an absolutely miraculous life if you choose. So I love you so much. Share this, message me An Uncompromised Life, or message me one-on-one to get the details for that, and have a beautiful Sunday.